Good morning, everyone. My name is ZhenniJin. I am a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Currently, I am a faculty in AIMC, Acupuncture and Intuitive Medicine College, and also I'm practicing in Austin, Texas. I'm honored to present my capstone as a White House Scholar inspired by Pillar 4 of National Strategy for Nutrition and Health, which emphasized the importance of promoting physical activity in the workplace. The national strategy encourages to create environments that support movements throughout the day, such as taking a stairs or providing a space in the workplaces for exercise. These small actions can have a profound impact on both individual health and overall work productivity. So today, I would like to introduce 八段锦气功, an ancient but highly effective solution for integrating physical activity into the workplace. So let me introduce 八段锦. 八段锦 is one type of format of Qigong, which is a very traditional Chinese exercise routine. It has been named as 8 pieces of brocade, has been practiced thousands of years, and has been known as a significant physical and mental health benefits. So it focuses on breath regulation with gentle movements and mental focus, making it very accessible to people of all ages and fitness levels. Each session only takes about less than 20 minutes, like 10 to 12 minutes, and involves standing and squatting position very mildly. It is very easy to follow and learn, and make it so particularly suitable for a working place settings. So basically, this whole practice has been, has been provided into a lot of places already. Definitely, like in my campus, as a school teaches acupuncture, intuitive medicine, also traditional Chinese medicine. This is one of the curriculum we will allow the students to learn and to practice. And eventually, this become a very great modalities for us to show the patients how to improve their posture during the day and how to decreasing their issues as well. So the reason why I have been thinking about this is a great message to be, practiced in a workplace. One is because this is a really simple movement. There are a lot of working places, especially like high-tech companies, they are already starting to implement the yoga, or they also have the gym in their company already, which means people already think about how important the physical activities it is to support the employees and also to, creating their company culture. So I do believe practice 八段锦 as a group can also be very important to strengthening the teamwork, the team cohesions, and also to create a supportive work environment. That's eventually that helping to boosting the productivities and productivities as well. So I did a pretty deep and review to explore how 八段锦 Qigong can enhance work productivity by improving physical health, mental well-being, and the workplace environment. So from here, I trying to think about how this 八段锦 Qigong can potentially as a very valuable tool for increasing employees' efficiency and overall job performance. So that is the purpose and the aim of this whole capstone project that has been done so far. So let's have a look together each sections, how does the 八段锦 Qigong can help for our body health. So the first point I want to talk about is how does the Qigong, specifically 八段锦 Qigong in the workplace, benefits the physical health. As you can see the picture here, this is a very ancient picture. People trying to show people how to do 八段锦. There are 8 sections, and each section including a very simple movements, including raising your arms, or bending your knees, or lowering your lower back, or lifting your heels. Those are very simple movements. First of all, I want to talk about the physical health and work productivity, which is like why the physical activity is so crucial in, the workplaces. I will say a lot of research has been found that the employees who maintain a good physical health typically experiencing fewer health-related issues can be really helping with their energy levels and increasing their focus during the day, and also can be more consistent in their performance, specifically during the work time. There is, for example, there is a study has been shown that the presenteeism can be more damaging than absenteeism, and as employees have a physical presence but less effective. That is something we don't really want to see, right, during the workplaces. And another thing is about nowadays, a lot of work requires people sitting or keeping in one position for a really long time, which is we also call the sedentary behavior. It's very commonly nowadays, honestly speaking, and that's definitely, increasing body, issues, especially like musculoskeletal issues and fatigue, and also the discomforts. A lot of people do have those issues throughout the day, especially when they're facing computer for a long time, or typing for a long time, or having those online meetings all the time. That is definitely increasing the health risk, especially physical health. There are a lot of research also has been talking about to promoting the physical activities throughout the workplace programs can improve the performance and also to reduce the negative effects of those sedentary work. So incorporating 八段锦 Qigong, for example, can provide a very simple way to address those challenges. Therefore, later on, they can help into increasing the work productivity. So let's break it down to see how does this type of Qigong can benefit our physical health. First of all, because the practice involves very gentle flowing movements that can really providing and increasing the flexibility of the joints, and of course, enhancing the range of motions of those joints. Later on, the mobility of the body will definitely getting boosted after those after those practice. The second one, it definitely provides a better posture, and of course, that increasing the musculoskeletal health. A lot of situation, a lot of physical health nowadays, we consider them like a computer sitting disorders or computer sitting postures. Those are really, really damaging our bodies. I will say posture is one thing we are ignoring a lot of time, but they actually matters a lot in our, in our health, like your walking postures, your sitting postures. So when you're sitting for a long time, doing a very simple 10 minutes 八段锦 Qigong can really benefit your body. The muscles can relaxing your muscles, can also strengthening and increasing your postures. I will say that is another thing that's very, very important in our daily activity or in our daily work time. A lot of research has been also shown that 八段锦 Qigong can help into increasing your energy level, which in the same time can reducing the fatigueness. This is also has been seen a lot after the COVID. We all know long COVID is an issue, and a lot of people actually are experiencing long COVID syndromes. One big, point of that is fatigue. As a practitioner, I have been seeing a lot of patients coming to the clinic complaining how fatigued they are, even though they do not have a lot of like a physical, activities where their work does not requires a lot of physical energy. So 八段锦 Qigong has been shown that can increase in the energy level and reduce the fatigue and make easier for the individuals to managing their daily tasks with less exhaustion. The last thing has been also shown that because of this, a lot of people has been looking for Qigong, specifically 八段锦, this type of Qigong after COVID, when they're trying to tonify their immune function. A lot of research has been shown that it has a therapeutic function on cardiovascular systems, and also helping with breathing because we do incorporating breathing during our exercise. And in the same time, that there's also affecting a lot of other systems inside of our bodies. So they become a very functional for prevention for disease and as a treatment, and eventually they're also helping for the recovery. So I will say, in general speaking, just from the very breakdown of the Qigong's benefits for the physical health, those are the couple points I have been seeing a lot and I have been practiced a lot for my patients. And in the same time, it does benefits not only the you already have those issues, but also benefits how can you prevent those disorders happening to you. So therefore, from this point of view, I will say, in general speaking, when we're trying to make a summarize or conclusion in here, physical health matters a lot to our work, while 八段锦气功 benefits a lot of physical health. When we're trying to integrating this, qigong into our workplace, can definitely increasing or enhance our employees' productivities by addressing those aspects we mentioned before, from more range of motions, more flexibilities on the joints, changing their postures, or providing a better posture for them, decreasing their stress, decreasing the fatigueness, and overall they helping to increasing their immune function. That can definitely in the future preventing more sick leaves, or they're not able to finish the work by day. So I will say, in general speaking, the whole benefits from 八段锦, especially towards the physical health, can absolutely increasing the work productivities for the employees. And in the meantime, not only for that, that can also optimize their overall health, right? Not only during the work days, but also during the weekends or in their life, they can also benefit by those exercises they have been doing throughout the week. So I will say, definitely, this is the first point I want to talk about, why does this this type of qigong exercise matters, and this is the one reason why I want to encourage yourself and also to implementing this type of exercise during the workplace. The second is about mental health. So the benefits of qigong go beyond physical health. The stress is one of the most significant barriers to the productivities in today's environments. A lot of research has been discussed. How does the stress, damage our bodies? How does the high stress level can impair the decision making and reduce focus? A lot of people has been talk about that. It's not only about 八段锦, just like in general speaking, the mental health has been talked about and brought it up a lot of times in the research, especially talk about excessive job demands that can actually lead to anxieties or depressions and contributing to very poor job performances. So from this perspective, that's also the reason why I wanna, mention this as my second point. Is like 八段锦气功 actually can help people to increasing their mental health or protect themselves to getting less stress and also not really fall into anxieties or depression. There are a couple points I've been finding out online. I've been reading those papers and research. I've been doing some literature review about it, and here I find a couple of points to share with you guys. The first one is about reduction in the stress and anxieties. 八段锦气功 has been showing a significant reduced stress and anxiety level by providing the relaxation and also balancing the body itself. If you don't really want to talk about the energy system here, it's fine, but it does. A lot of research has been shown that regulating exercise increasing the mental clarity and also can enhance the mindfulness. And of course, eventually they can improve the cognitive function as well. What does this matter? Because when we're doing 八段锦气功, we have to be presenting during this 10 to 12 minutes. We are moving our bodies. we are collaborating with breathing. And another thing matters a lot is about you should be focused when you're doing those exercise. That just like this little 10 to 12 minutes exercise in really kind of slightly forcing you to be not only body physically moving, but also be mindful on your breathings and also decreasing the stress, because during that 10 minutes, you're not thinking about work. You're just thinking about be present. That is a very important part. I will say that's very close into meditations, while a lot of people who are not good at meditation because they cannot clear out their mind, right? When they're trying to meditate, they just have so much busy mind, running around in their brain. But Baduanjin Qigong actually also providing physical movements that can definitely, I will say, slightly helping you to be more focused because you're not just sitting there or lying down on the places. So in general speaking, from the mental clarities, from the cognitive functions, there are a lot of research behind to supporting this part. Not specifically for doing the workplace. Most of the cognitive function has been found is about the patient who already have like the impairment on their cognitive behaviors. So Baduanjin has a really strong improvements on their memories, on their attentions, and also focusing on how to maintaining their daily activities as well. Another interesting part I want to mention that let's talk about how does Baduanjin Qigong can improve like sleep qualities. There's a review actually talk about how importantly the sleeping matters a lot to our mental health, which I'm totally agree about that part for sure. The sleep qualities is crucial for the mental clarities and the mental health. And eventually that will be very importantly to support our work productivity as well. Improve sleep, resulting from reduced stress, enhancing focus and energy during the day, that can contributing a way better work performance. Therefore, from those points, and of course, there are many other benefits from Baduanjin Qigong as well, but those four are the one has been discussed a lot, has been a lot of research prove that, and a lot of evidence research has been shown those benefits throughout those years. So all in all, at the end, I will say, considering Baduanjin Qigong into the workplace can be very profoundly enhance mental health, leading to a marked improvement in overall work productivities. Because we know the mental well-being is very important in our daily life, especially when your work is relying on like a request a lot of mental activity as well, making decisions, creating better, strategies for your work, dealing with your customers, or, like a high-tech companies, they also requires a lot of data analysis, etc. That requires a lot of mental health. And I will say, unfortunately, are very stressful too. I had a lot of patients, they're working for, I'm in Texas, in Austin, I had a lot of patients working for Tesla. They're engineers, they're data engineers, or they are mechanism engineers. So all of them have this type of issues from the stress from the work, or they have those body achiness here and there. And they are actually pretty young patients. They're in their early 40s, we're in their middle 30s. So I will say those people are definitely can benefit a lot from Baduanjin Qigong, especially during their workplace, right? While when they're finishing one section of their work, they can have a little bit breaks. So taking this 10 minutes, or it can even less than 10 minutes if you don't have that much time, go to a place, maybe you go to the gym, maybe you go to outdoors, maybe just like a quiet office space. You don't need a lot of space to do in this, and then spending the time just with yourself or with your co-workers, that can be really benefits and positive to their job out of following days. So that's kind of, even though a lot of research actually has been shown that just taking a very short nap, 5 minutes, 8 minutes throughout the day doing your work, that can also increase in your work, productivity as well. So Qigong 八段锦 here, I have been providing you guys so many benefits to the wellnesses, no matter it's mental or physical wellnesses here, that can even be a better option if you're not like taking a nap through the day, right? Because that does sound like you are wasting your time. But if you're doing this, that's from the leader, the company perspective, that can be a little bit even better for them to think about how to increase in the work productivities as well. So all in all, 八段锦 qigong in the workplace can be benefits to physical well-being and also the mental well-being. In summary, that addresses both physical and mental health, making an ideal practice for the workplace wellnesses, which can improve in overall job performance and also the satisfactions from the employees. The third point, actually, I want to talk about the work environment. I think that's something also very important, but it does have lack of research or lack of attention in the company as well. The work environments, it is very, how to say, subtle, but it does very important to impact the employees' working productivities as well. A nice work environment definitely, shapes people's comfort, motivations, and everything. So a positive work environment, not only about, good lighting, it's not only about, you have nice tables, you have standing tables if you don't want to sit down. It also needs to, providing a supportive atmosphere in your workplace or in your office. So of course, conversely, on the opposite side, if it's a negative work environment, definitely can make employees have less space, or they have lack of, confidence, and also lack of job satisfaction as well. So this is one thing I want to talk about, is really because 八段锦 qigong itself does benefit the work environment. First of all, this type of qigong you can practice by yourself. It doesn't matter you or 10 people working with you, but it does as a group practice as well. It definitely can, building up a better work culture, specifically your team cohesion as well. Like yoga, right? You can practice yoga yourself, but you can also practice yoga in a group of people. Same thing with 八段锦 qigong. You can work with your friends, your colleagues together in a space as a group practice as well. It definitely can help into forcing a supportive culture, like working culture, and also giving you a better teamwork afterwards. Imagine this, right? You're tired from your work, you need a little bit of break, so go to a place, go to the gym, or go to our open spaces yourself. You can have one or two people join you together, kind of like you need a little like coffee break. Now you need a little bit of qigong break, right? That's a really good thing. So spending 10-12 minutes with maybe your friends, doing your work with your colleagues, you work together all the time, or go with your team member together, do a little bit 八段锦 qigong exercise, that can help definitely reduce the stress doing the work, because the qigong itself already providing your relaxations and also changing your postures. Later on, they definitely helping to reduce the stress, and also that can really helping to calm you down doing the work. Because I know a lot of work requires teamwork, and of course everyone has their own opinion on the objects or the project they're doing. So you may have some conflicting ideas, and you have discussions with your team members. Once that happens, some people may have some agitations, they may have some very excitement about certain things. especially when you catch up with your deadline, right? When your due date. So I will say that will be a benefit when you do some qigong with your co-workers, and both of you guys has a little bit more, calming down, and then later on you can bring that harmony to your work atmosphere. Definitely later on that can improve your interpersonal relationships too. The calming activeness about the qigong enhance the relationship and the communication among the colleagues, and that later on can providing you a more positive and a more cooperative workplace, and your work productivities will be increasing because you guys have less emotional things going on, but become more efficient on the work you are facing during the day. So that's another perspective I want to talk about, is because I personally think work environments matters a lot, right? Think about it. You had a work that pays you a lot, you have really high salaries, but the people you are working with are relatively difficult to dealing with, where the projects are relatively harder, and you have to face in not only your boss, but also your clients, your customers, and etc. And the lights in your office is not good. You have to fix it all the time. Or the chairs you have been talked about to replacing that, but no one really helped for you. I will say a lot of factors contributing to your work environments matters a lot, and eventually that may become the reason why you're quitting the job. Other people may not really understand why, right? So from this point of view, I would like to say that 八段锦 Qigong benefits the work environments, creating a really nice, harmonizing work environments, and that definitely matters a lot in the modern societies as well. So in conclusion about this section, I will say 八段锦 Qigong can definitely enhance in the workplace by nurturing a supportive and collaborative culture. Its practice forces the mutual respects and the encouragements between you and your colleagues and even your boss. Therefore, they can create a more positive work environment. So as a daily routine, the organizations or your company can address both physical and psychological needs, and ultimately they can increase in the employees' satisfaction, reducing their absence, and also can boosting the overall success, and also, of course, at the end, the work productivity. So those three aspects is what I have been looking for so far for this whole project. And of course, there are many other perspectives for us to looking for how, why we have to in placing this type of exercise in our workplace. But from the physical activities, from the physical health, mental well-being, and also the work environments improvements, those three parts are the main section I have been looking for. So at the end, I will also say the future directions. So after all those, literature review have been done, I'm also think about, how some limitations and the challenges we may face in if we're trying to creating this exercise in the workplace. Definitely, first of all, even though I keep saying 八段锦 Qigong is very easygoing, takes just 10 minutes, very short of time. It does need any access, other equipments. It doesn't even need a mat. And it doesn't even need to change your clothes. You can just do that with your regular clothes when you are in the workplace. But still, I will say the employees' engagement and also culture acceptance matters a lot. Like not everyone will be very passionate about practicing that, right? Some of them may even think about, I have to do some actual works throughout the day. I have already been so much work to need to be done. I don't have even 2 minutes to do some movements through my arms and legs. That's very understandable because I have been practicing this a lot, and I have been keep encouraging my patients who need this practice by themselves. I don't even ask them to do 8 sections. I only teach them just 1 section and say just repeating that movement a couple of times throughout the day. So I can totally see the challenges over here to fully, implementing this whole exercise into the workplace. The second one is definitely the time and the space constraints. Some places may not even having enough space, but like I mentioned, I will say even just like a very small working space, if you can stand up, you can do this exercise in your office places even. But still, I will say a lot of companies or a lot of organizations, they may also be concerning about if we're gonna do this, we want to provide a better space for our employees, which is very understandable too. The last thing will really more about the research perspective, which means how can we measure the effectiveness from this exercise, right? Like we want to measure work productivities, but how do we do? So that's kind of the reason why this whole presentation, what I was trying to say is like go from the 3 aspects, but physical well-being and mental well-being is relatively easy to measure because we do have like questionnaires out there or the evaluation forms out there to measure the physical activities or the mental well-being from maybe one small aspect, right? Maybe we just talk about how does the flexibilities of your joints, or how does your posture change, or how your stress decreasing. Those are slightly easy to measure, but like the work environments, I guess we definitely need to find a better measurements or metrics over there. And how does those 3 aspects can contribute to workplace productivities? That's another very important thing for us to think about, the relationship between them. The evaluating for the well-beings, the productivities are relatively difficult. So that will be a limitation or challenges for me or for anybody who wants to do this as a project in the future to implement 八段锦 Qigong into the workplace. You also need to considering how can we do the measurements for the effectiveness from these activities. Otherwise, it's a little bit hard to convincing the company to do that, right? It's a little bit hard to convincing your boss to say, I want to employ, providing this into the workplace, and this requires specific space, requires specific times throughout the day. We may also need a TV screen out there to show people how to do those movements, or even when it requires 1 or 2 people can demonstrate that for us. So if we are not able to have a really nice scientific measurements for the effectiveness from this exercise, there may be a challenging or obstacles for us to keep providing or implementing this 八段锦 Qigong into the workplace. So definitely I have been also thinking about those limitations and challenges for a while, but eventually I will say we will get there. But just want to mention that, or like slightly highlights that in the presentations about, even though this whole project, this whole exercise benefits a lot, but still when we trying to put that into the real life situation or scenarios, there are definitely challenges and limitations we also has to consider and has to pay more attention with it, which also led us to eventually led us to think about how can we adjust this movement or this exercise to fit in different type of company cultures and company settings, right? That become more individualized and more customized applications later for yourself, or for you to think about how can make this become more realistic for your employees or for your colleagues to actually practice this exercise by themselves. So conclusions, at the end, I will say it is a really, when I was thinking about this, because I personally really enjoy doing Qigong throughout my day. I practice Qigong every day, at least twice. One is in the morning, one is in the afternoon. in the morning, that really, kind of wakes me up and I have a really great start for the day. And in the afternoon, it's because usually around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, people start to getting tired, and this qigong movements can re-wake me up again and trying to finish the day with a pretty nice breathings and exercise. So that was my very initial ideas, and when I reading the whole strategies from from the White House, and I do realize supporting activities is one of the pillar they have been talking about. So that's kind of how I engage in this whole qigong exercise and make this become my capstone. Definitely, as we move forward, I have been also thinking about to create a pilot study. This is actually what I have been talked to Erica and also Jessica about this. I say, how about I try to provide a pilot study in my workplace, because as a school who teaches all the traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and qigong, I think it's a slightly easier for me to implementing qigong in my workplace first, right, in the campus. So the faculties, they can come to do the qigong practice with me like bi-weekly, twice a week. And also let's think about let's to see how many difficulties or challenges we may be facing, and how can we adjust that and modify that, and eventually maybe creating a protocol, something to giving to more broad widely given to other organizations and companies. So that become my, I would say, the follow-up about this capstone projects. This is what I can do in the future. And of course, definitely that requires another very detailed research with the evaluation. What should we evaluate, and how do we evaluate this exercise can really increase in the work productivities and so on. I'm looking forward to do this, and of course, I'm looking forward to share more results with you in the future once we are really done and we do have some nice results. So at the end, I will say this whole project definitely benefits to our workplaces. When we go back to looking at all the benefits 八段锦 Qigong can provide for us, no matter it's from the physical health or mental well-being, and eventually they can creating a better work environment. I will say this is a really nice tiny piece of program we can add on to our workplaces. Even though there are several challenges, like I mentioned before, the time, the space, the engagements, the cultural acceptance, and so on. But I will say eventually those challenges and limitations will be handled well, because overall the benefits from qigong practice is more than the issues or the challenges we may be facing. So at the end of this presentations, I'd love to say thank you. And of course, here are the references I have been using for the presentations. You are welcome to looking at those researches to, they're providing a lot of information about how this type of qigong benefits the bodies, and why physical health, mental health, and also work environments matters a lot to the work productivities. So thank you for your attention. I welcome any questions, and I'm looking forward to discuss how can we collaboratively promote this well-being exercise into our workplaces. And thank you for having me to do this presentation. I know definitely I made some mistakes during my presentation, but still it's my pleasure to provide something, and I do want to see if any of you guys have the same interest like me to really making this projects become bigger and become more realistically to your institutions or your organizations as well in the future. And I hope we can have more conversations in the future if you're also very interested about this proposal. So thank you. And this is the end of the presentation. I'm really happy to having all of you guys here to listen to this and looking forward to have more cooperations and discussions with you in the future. Thank you.